Today we are talking about different kinds of aquariums that you can have in the saltwater hobby. It's not just those amazing looking SPS coral tanks that you see all the time. There's so many different kinds of habitats that you can create, different kinds of aquariums that you can have within the saltwater hobby.
Yeah, absolutely. There's quite a few, and each little avenue has its own little different things that kind of go along with each of the tanks. There's quite a few different ways you can go in this hobby. Each tank style has its own ups and downs, so a lot of different avenues to go.
And it's usually the tank that is recommended to people that want to get into corals is usually going to be a soft coral tank, because soft corals are usually a little bit easier to take care of because they're more forgiving with water parameters. So you can typically learn how your parameters react and how your tank is reacting to corals, and you can learn all that easier with soft corals. What do you think about that?
Yeah, soft coral tanks are actually one of my personal favorites. I like a lot of different species of soft coral, and they're quite easy to keep, and they're gorgeous. There's a lot of movement with soft corals. And I think even a lot of like experienced reefers really still enjoy like the movement that soft corals give. So yeah, a lot of people do soft coral tanks, and they're really easy to maintain. But I've always been a big guy on water changes. Do water changes when you can. I try to do them every Friday, just to keep that water clarity clear. Like no matter what, keep all those parameters stable. But yeah, soft coral tanks can be really rewarding and quite forgiving. So it's definitely a good step if you're just getting into the hobby.
Yeah, and there's a lot of really cool soft corals out there, like green star polyps, leather corals. Xenia is really cool, even though a lot of people don't like xenia because it grows really fast like a weed. But just the movement of that coral to me is really cool. And it just depends on what you're trying to do, right? So if you like that, then go ahead and put it in your tank, give it a try, see what it does. But next up from there, what would you say would be like the next type of aquarium that you could have or get into?
I'd probably say like an LPS dominant reef. Some of your acans, your favias, bubble corals, and that's going to include your torches, hammers, frog spawn, octo spawns, all that sort of good stuff. You can a lot of times, especially if you're looking for like more like vibrant fluorescent color, or like under your blue light specifically. The LPS is where you're going to really start to see some really unique colors kind of trickle out through favias and chalices and all your torches and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I like brain corals too. Some of my
Yeah,
favorites, Trachyphilias, Welsos are really cool. But yeah, it just gives you a whole nother level of dynamic, like you said, with your blue lights and everything, the way they fluoresce in the water. You see it even more with LPS corals because, like Duncan corals, are really cool to feed and watch the feeding response.
yeah.
Gullies are really cool. But yeah, an LPS tank, yeah, I agree. That would be like the next level up. And then from there, you can start kind of, I guess, mixing everything together. Now, we haven't touched on SPS corals yet, but we will. But mixed corals, you can do a mixed coral reef, and that tends to be one of the popular things in the hobby, is everyone kind of picks and chooses what they want and just meshes it all together. And you can get
hmm
some really cool looking tanks that way.
Absolutely. Yeah, that can definitely, it's fun to do, but it can definitely add some more challenges because different corals and
Mhm.
different types of corals require different like parameters, and they enjoy different parameters. Like most soft corals tend to enjoy a little higher nutrients. And once
Yeah.
you start to trickle into some of the SPS and even the LPS, some of them enjoy some lower nutrients. So you just gotta watch and get a balance that everything can tolerate.
If you like this video, then I know you're going to love the full podcast episode. Go ahead, click or tap your screen to watch that. Thank you so much for liking and commenting and subscribing, and I will see you in the next one.